It's on that shorty new year, shorty new year. Come along to Camp Shorty. It's a Miss Shorty New Year, it's Shorty New Year. It's a Miss Shorty New Year, a Shorty New Year. Come along to Camp Shorty, we're so glad you're here. It's a Miss Shorty New Year, a Shorty New Year. It's a Miss Shorty New Year, a Shorty New Year. Come along to Camp Shorty, we're so glad you're here. It's a Miss Shorty New Year, a Shorty New Year. Come along to Camp Shorty, we're so glad you're here. Camp Shorty is where you will find family. Our beautiful minds will greet you with glee. At Camp Shorty, you can shine and shine bright because Miss Shorty, camp leader, is a fucking delight. It's a Miss Shorty New Year, a Shorty New Year. Come along to Camp Shorty, so glad you're here. It's a Miss Shorty New Year, a Shorty New Year. Come along to Camp Shorty, so glad you're here. Your opinions are valid, you can fly like a bird. With your comments on screen, you will always be heard. It's the best chat on YouTube, you can cuss all you want. And here at Camp Shorty, we even say cunt. It's a Miss Shorty New Year, a Shorty New Year. Come along to Camp Shorty, so glad you're here. It's a Miss Shorty New Year, a Shorty New Year. Come along to Camp Shorty, so glad you're here. Let your broadcast be free, so liberating. We stay on topic, although occasionally things get a bit feral, but it's clear to see. It's a Miss Shorty New Year, a Shorty New Year. Come along to Camp Shorty, so glad you're here. It's a Miss Shorty New Year, a Shorty New Year. Come along to Camp Shorty, so glad you're here. Camp Shorty is where you will find family. Our beautiful minds will greet you with glee. At Camp Shorty, you can shine and shine bright because Miss Shorty, camp leader, is a fucking delight.
Hi, hey shorties, hi. I've run out of pig's ears, so dentist sticks for dogs today should be less crunchy and loud than the usual pig's ear situation. Well, equally enthusiastic. Probably on this side. Hi. What's up? They're not even clean. It's just a whole new thing. Hi, I can see you again now. Simi's here. Shelley's here. I said hi, Simi. Stephanie, blah, blah, blah. Steph is at dinner. You know, how dare you have a light? I see Vix is in the house. Let's fucking go. That's right. Hey, before we go into tonight, let me just say I've shuffled the schedule. So I already shuffled the schedule. I swapped out the Pizzagate show that we did have planned originally for just making sure I'm on the right mic. I am originally for tonight, and then I realized that that I probably wasn't quite ready. I hadn't drawn my resources together in an orderly fashion enough. So I swapped out tonight and tomorrow night. So here we are, the Zionist Project Part 3. But hey ho, Pete Fee, good to see you. And then like we've been doing some heavy stuff, right? Here at Camp Shorty. I've had to take a few nights off because this is heavy stuff. And then randomly, I happened upon, hi, puppy. It wasn't random, it's synchronicity. I happened upon something that I think would be better, more positive, less heavy for tomorrow night. So I've moved Pizzagate to next weekend. That might shift again. Hello, Argues with Walls. Miss Shorty, I had no idea you had a channel. So glad I found you. Yay! So glad you found us too. Welcome, welcome. We are so friendly here at Camp Shorty. We are very welcoming, inclusive, respectful, informed. We take stuff seriously, but we don't take ourselves seriously. Team Miss Rachel. Yes, I've had this Palestine flag green screen backdrop ready to go for quite some time, and tonight is the time. So good to see you. Tom Jones is back. So tomorrow night is we're going to talk. So it's the year of the fire horse. Of course, now my eyes starting to water because free Palestine. But the year we've experienced, and I don't know about you all, but it's been a year, right? So the year we've experienced is like the end of an epic period in history, in time. What is time? And we are entering a very rare period of revolution, love, and light. So we're going to do that tomorrow night instead of talking about satanic pedophiles that run the world. But we're going to get through tonight first, okay? So thank you, Simi. Replay crew, hi. If you would like to watch the live chat replay on your handheld device, your Android, your iPhone, your tablet, iPad, easy peasy, all you do is go to the couple of little dots on the top right-hand side of your device in the comment tab on YouTube and swipe left, and it'll give you the option to watch the live chat replay as well as dropping a comment. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this, so long as you're respectful and don't resort to ad hominems. We're cool, right? Same as in chat, here in chat, live chat. Speaking of so long as you're respectful, the powers that be at YouTube don't necessarily love this 3-part series, and this is part 3 of a 3-part series. There's a playlist there on my channel called History, Mystery, and All That Stuff. And our first stream in this 3-part series was we talked about 9/11. It was very minimal commentary by me, but to exclaim repeatedly how almost every one of my benign comments was being withheld, rejected by YouTube. First time ever. Also the chatters. Then our second stream in this series was about the origins of Hollywood. That stream got shut down without warning as about halfway through. No warning. Apparently it was a copyright strike, perhaps. So I'll just say now, if for some reason this stream gets shut down, hi YouTube, educational purposes only, we do have a Kick channel, and I guess the mods can drop that in, but it's basically Miss Shorty Delight. I used to have an old one called just Miss Shorty, but I had to make a new one just because I couldn't change my profile picture. Technology. So if this stream does get shut down, please know that we will go over to Kick, and that's copyright free, relatively copyright free viewing. So I think that's all the housekeeping, perhaps. Now, so part 3. This is actually part 3 in a 3-part trilogy or series on a friend of mine's channel, and I'll drop his channel into chat for you to go and subscribe. I believe it's his production, this trilogy called the Zionist Project. I should clarify with him. He did give me full permission to use all of his content, any and all of his content. So the copyright strike wasn't from him. The first part, we actually did it out of order. We did the part 2 is the 9/11 one. Part 1 is the Hollywood origin story one. And this is the Zionist Project part 3. So we'll be watching that together, and we can talk about it. It's quite relatively heavy going, I guess. So if you need to take a break, I understand completely. Look up, protect your peace, protect your energy. But we're going to be and actually the footage that we'll be watching is not new at all. I believe 15 plus years ago. So let's just say October 7th wasn't the start of things. But I wanted the documentary that we'll be watching juxtaposes Christian Zionism and the evangelizing of Zionism in parts of the US, and I guess around the world. Zionism is global, after all. And the belief that many Christian Zionists and evangelical Christians have about Israel. Hi, Christy. Good to see you. And the reality of what's actually happening over there. And it's horrifying. So this shit keeps me up at night. And it is much easier to not think about it or see it. If you want to, you can avoid it. It's intellectually dishonest to deny the reality of it. But if you choose to not engage, I guess that's on you. That's okay. That's okay. It's understandable. No. I try not to be judgmental. I do try. I try. I try, because it's awful. And why would you expose yourself to awful? But humanity is on the brink right now. And to circle back to what I was talking about with tomorrow night's stream, we're on a tipping point. We're at this fork in the road, and I think planetarily wise and energy wise, things are going to be okay. But we need to be, I think we need to be active participants in that awakening. So here I am. All that to say, thank you for being here. Thank you, mods. Share this out with your friends, on your socials, because we are shadow banned to shit, which is disappointing. Last night was an amazing stream. Thank you all for being there last night. Oh, great, I got to fly. I appreciate you very much. We'll be doing another part, at least another part of the Port Arthur massacre, false flag. But shall Can you hear me? I can't hotspot my laptop. Hi, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Testing, testing. Oh my God. We're loading, we're loading. Yes, yes, yay. Anybody who says that I have no technological skills is lying. I don't even know. Okay. Hey, Buster's excited. Hi. Wow. Wow. I don't know what happened there, but we're good. We're good. Let me just wait. Making sure you can hear me. Okay. Thank you, Simi. I appreciate you very much. Let me just. Okay. Where were we? Holy shit. Not even stressful. I'm sweating like a motherfucker. What were we going to do? Hey, we're good. We've got this. Thank you all for your patience. Had some technical difficulties. 7 or 8 minutes of dead air is cool, right? Let me just get the documentary that we're going to watch. And again, if for some reason YouTube decides to nuke us, we will head over to Kick. Pause. So, if you're just joining us, thank you so much for joining. We're watching a documentary together. I'll try to comment minimally. I am back, huzzah! It's part 3 of a which and I believe I've linked it in the description box. If I haven't already, I will after. I'll drop the link to this in chat also. So, whew, without further ado, oh wait. Sorry, first day. Not even flustered. So we're watching a documentary that basically juxtaposes the belief, the firmly held belief or denial, belief that supporting secular Israel is being next to God, versus what's actually happening over there. And the footage over there in Palestine. The footage, this is old. Like this, I believe this documentary appears on my friend's channel from about a year ago. But the footage that he's used to create this documentary is not new. So this has been happening for a long time. We know that. And trigger warning again, if you need to step away, please do. Thank you, Sinead. I appreciate you. I'll put closed captions on for my neurodivergent friends. Wait, wow, there we go. Thank you all for being here. Applause. Pokes Shelley says Hammy hates that. Yes, imagine that's part of the torture inflicted. It's sound bombs.
He pledged, quote, There will be no Israel in 25 years. End quote. 70 years after the murder of 6 million Jews, Iran's rulers promised to destroy my country, murder my people.
Sorry,
And
forgot
the
to mute.
response from this body, the response from nearly every one of the governments represented here has been absolutely nothing. Utter silence. Deafening silence.
So manipulative. Guilt tripping the world over bullshit. Demon. He reminds me of my father. Makes me feel physically ill. Not that my father's a murderous, genocidal maniac, but you know.
Perhaps you can now understand why Israel is not joining you in celebrating this deal.
Ultimatum on Iran over its nuclear program, using some surprising methods to illustrate his point.
This is a bomb. This
No,
is
it was
fuse.
silence. There should be sound
A
still.
red line should be
Bobby,
drawn
please, for goodness
right here.
sake. That was it was him doing it on purpose to Netanyahu to prove a point, to guilt trip the United Nations representatives.
Before Iran completes the second stage of nuclear enrichment necessary to make a bomb,
behind them is a cult of evil, which seeks to harm the innocent and thrives on human suffering.
Oh my God. One of the dogs just farted.
Theirs is
Goodness
the worst
gracious.
kind of cruelty. The cruelty that is fed, not weakened, by tears. Theirs is the worst kind of violence. Pure malice while daring to claim the authority of God. We cannot fully understand the designs and power of evil. It is enough to know that evil, like goodness, exists. And in the terrorist, evil has found a willing servant. Evil has found a willing servant.
Attention, attention, attention. American forces are here to help. Remain calm. We will not tolerate civil disobedience. Attention, attention, attention. American forces are here to help. Please remain calm. We will not tolerate civil disobedience. Attention, attention, attention. Due to the large number of people arriving, we'll experience a short delay. Please remain calm and cooperate so that we can process you into the camp faster.
Hey, hou ook de dak in de gaten. Wat? Dak? Niet die op dak, niet die op. Nee, maakt niet uit. As a hostile act. The technologies are what makes you nauseous. In the past, in a situation like that, she might have been shot. In the future, we want to give our Marines non-lethal options where they can say, no, she's not armed, maybe threatening, but I don't want to kill her, or I don't want to kill him, or them. Use your sound wave rifle, I guess you could call it, and down they go.
This looks like early 2000s, right?
Your ID's ready up there.
Just the fingers in the army. I got 5 kids. I need pampers and diapers and milk.
Okay, these guys have plastic handcuffs available.
Well, I think terrorism is being practiced on the residents of the city of Oakland because many of the retired teachers, retired military people have informed me that.
I remember now. I haven't watched this. I've watched so much since I watched this. This was the he's about to explain, to elaborate. This was the training, I think, prior to 9/11. Like, fuck.
They understand what's going on, and it's not anything that relates to humanitarian training whatsoever.
So it spit it out, Lisa. Mimics to me what's been going on lately with you all over there with, the military being sent into Portland, where else? Washington, preparing for something big. So that training footage was pre 9/11, doing like drills, practicing for the event of something happening. Remember, this is part 3 of a 3-part series. Part 2 was the 9/11 special. So we watched that first. It's in the playlist. So it's all coming back to me now. Sorry, I probably should watch it again to refresh.
This is a psychological, as we in the research community say, this is a psyops. They're preparing people for what is coming, not what is being presented today.
They were actually arresting people in Swansboro, North Carolina, and they called it training. Patrolling, taking over the city council, taking over the public buildings, running checkpoints, searching people's cars, taking them to jail, confiscating firearms, and it was in the newspaper. Oh, wow, the Marines are out on the road just helping us because the government said it wasn't a question of if, but when the next terrorist attack was coming in. We were going to have to give up our liberties for security. Remember what the FBI agent said? Are you going to have to give up your rights? Maybe. Preparing the cadres, searching people's cars, taking people to jail. Is this Russia? Is this Mexico? No, it's the new America.
Search the vehicle right now.
Imagine Marines in your backyard, in your front yard, walking down your streets in the middle of the night. Well, you're a patriot, aren't you? Well, I certainly am, but this is a deadly, dangerous precedent that's being set. They're brainwashing our military.
Here's an article from February 2002 as we make this documentary. Marines are occupying multiple cities in the continental United States with the local police, again, searching houses, searching cars, doing a mock takeover.
For a multi-state training exercise this summer called Jade Helm 15. While the military says it's just training soldiers for the realities of war, critics say the Army is preparing for modern-day martial law.
What's happening is between July and September, a bunch of Green Berets, Navy SEALs, and Special Ops from the Air Force and Marines are conducting some realistic training exercises across the Southwest. The military says these are vital skills when it comes to an ever-changing threat. But in the slideshow of the training exercise, it says Texas will be simulated hostile territory.
Jade Helm, a massive, unprecedented rollout of the U.S. military inside of the U.S., runs from July 15th until September 15th. This is particularly interesting in that there always seems to be a drill being run by the government during when an actual crisis occurs. Jade Helm has already begun in preparations, and the amount of military equipment being amassed in the U.S. is truly mind-boggling. There's a lot of speculation that this amount of military buildup in the American South is in preparation for some sort of civil unrest. Recently, the New York-based Federal Reserve announced it's moving its operations outside of New York to Chicago because of concerns about a natural disaster. One might ask, what natural disaster are they expecting in New York that they aren't expecting in Chicago? Meanwhile, the U.S. federal government is buying another 62 million rounds of ammunition commonly used in AR-15s for training purposes, and NORAD announced that it is moving back into the Cheyenne Mountains because it is EMP hardened, leaving one to ask why NORAD is moving into the mountains to protect against a major attack at this time.
It certainly appears as though a lot has happened.
Christy, if I recall correctly, I have a feeling it was, yeah, fucking flies. I have a feeling it was like 2000-ish. Like it was within 6 months of 9/11. Huh. Don't quote me. But yes. So everything, you know, the more things change, the more they stay the same, right?
The Army War College called
How quickly
for
we
foreign
forget.
troops to occupy the United States back in 1999. And now George Bush has actually done it. That's an article from the CBC. They want hundreds of thousands of foreign UN troops on our streets. You're not for the terrorists, are you? And they want 350,000+ U.S. troops to, quote, patrol the U.S., to patrol our highways, our neighborhoods, our communities. In total violation of posse comitatus. They admit that they're actually scrapping the law prohibiting troops. Not that it even matters, they're already militarizing our police.
All right, we've seen a lot of pictures coming out of the protests in Ferguson, police wearing riot gear, holding machine guns, and looking an awful lot like the U.S. military. And that's because today they are a lot like the military. Not only have they been trained using some of the same tactics, but they've also been authorized over the last few years to receive a surplus in military gear from the Pentagon. And that means local law enforcement agencies are using weapons found on the battlefields of South Asia and the Middle East. To discuss this a little bit more, I was joined earlier by John Whitehead, president of the Rutherford Institute. He's long studied and written about the idea of a rising police state in America. And I first asked him if the ongoing situation in Ferguson resembles that evolution.
Of course, yeah. Everything you're seeing from the military gear on the so-called policemen, who they look like military personnel, by the way. They do not look like policemen, to the military vehicles, the high-tech rifles, all the things you're using. You know, it's a culmination of a long process that began quite a while ago, but has really accelerated over the last 5 or 6 years.
And we're seeing pictures of police officers and events that many feel resemble a military operation in Iraq or Afghanistan. What brought us to this point where local police forces are resembling our military in the way that they look and their actions?
Well, first of all the equipment that's been given out basically free from the Pentagon, Department of Homeland Security. I mean, the Department of Homeland Security is giving out MRAPs to local police departments. They're mine-resistant armor protection vehicles that they use in Afghanistan. They're basically tanks. The other thing that I've talked to policemen who are concerned about this is the training.
Pause. If you guys are just, hi Opal, hi Pammy. If you're sliding in late, never fear. We've only just started watching the documentary. I guess we're like 10 minutes in. We had some dramas already. My hotspot. Oh, that's what she said. No, my hotspot that I've been running streams off without any real problem. I mean, it's been fine. Just suddenly stopped. I had to troubleshoot. I mean, I don't want to be a conspiracy theorist, but I am. No, I don't. I can't imagine it would have been that the powers of be were disconnecting me from my phone end data. That wouldn't happen, would it? No. Everything else about this series has been complete, plain sailing, like smooth sailing, easy peasy, no dramas. So that was just a coincidence, I'm sure.
They're training policemen now very militarily in the police academies across the country, and actually SWAT teams are studying with military units. The other factor is that a lot of returning veterans from overseas are becoming police officers. So what you're getting is what the founding fathers, Madison, George Washington, all warned about a standing army. They say never do this because they experienced what would be the tyranny of a standing army. Used to, when you approached a policeman in America, he had a brown outfit on and maybe a firearm. Sometimes they weren't armed. Now you're seeing them with high-tech rifles. You have the Department of Homeland Security arming themselves with hollow point bullets, which violate international law, but Social Security Administration buying hollow point bullets and passing them out to 41 locations across the United States. Things have definitely changed. We do have a standing army now. It's the local police working with federal agents. And then some of the cases we're involved where people's homes get raided instituted its local police working with federal departments like the FBI and Department of Homeland Security, and they're all decked out in this military gear.
Every day in America, militarized SWAT teams kill innocent people, and they're rarely held accountable. More often, they kill their own officers, and still they're not held accountable. What's happening in America?
My name is Sergeant Charles Dyer, and I'm a United States Marine, an Oath Keeper, and a constitutional patriot. I entered the Marine Corps in 1998 at the tender age of 17. Back then, I was piss and vinegar and ready for a fight, I guess. I didn't care about politics. I was all about following orders and doing what I was told and fighting for freedom across the globe, I suppose, as any young Marine would. I'm actually very new to the resistance movement. I've probably only been awake with the situation for maybe the last year or so.
Welcome to Lexington, the cradle of American liberty.
So perfect timing with the first big Oath Keepers meeting coming up on the Green in Lexington, where it all started in 1775, April 19th.
We went to Lexington Green. What we were there to do was just to let people know about Oath Keepers and what Oath Keepers were and what it was to keep an oath and not just take an oath, because there's a big difference between those.
Pledging my life.
Pledging my life,
My fortune.
my fortune.
And my sacred.
It's where the first shots of the revolution were fired, the first revolution, not the new second upcoming revolution.
Studies that when I took the oath of office to uphold and defend the Constitution of the United States of America against all enemies, foreign and domestic, I knew in my heart what I meant when I raised my hand and swore to it.
We see the need to stand up and say, hey, look, I get letters all the time from people that are terrified and concerned and worried that the military is going to be used against them. And I saw that during Bush. There were Democrats who were upset about that, and rightly so. Looking at the rhetoric of the Bush administration, now you got Obama in there, and now you've got people on the conservative side who are waking up. And the reason why they're so afraid is because they all understand that power has grown so much, and the constraints on government has been eroded so much that they are all vulnerable. When one guy's in charge, then the other guys are terrified. When their guy's in charge, then they're terrified.
With every successive month that follows, more and more people wake up to the two-puppet system. There's a puppet on the left, a puppet on the right. It's one guy holding both puppets.
Around the world.
I don't like that guy.
The real wild card here are the demonstrators. We just don't know where this is going to go. While they were peaceful today, there's a lot more anger among those demonstrators than is evident. You talk to them today, they're pretty angry people. So that's the big wild card.
Hey, Mr. Gerger, can we talk to you for a second?
Where are you from?
I'm Alex Jones. I have a TV show in Austin. I make
This is great. I clipped this and shared it on the Twitters. Alex Jones with hair. I mean, he's an absolute sellout Mossad agent shill now. But however, this is great. Bohemian Grove Pizzagate, anybody? Alex Jones, pretty based here.
documentaries. Just a few questions about the convention.
Yeah, well, is there a camera or are you?
Yeah, right there, just about. Yeah, but I just want to get your permission first. Here.
Okay, it's looking like I've got.
No, I understand. Just about a minute or two.
Okay, great.
We're talking to David Gergen, and he has advised several presidents and, of course, has written quite a few books and is I would call you a political pundit or researcher.
Commentary over the hill, whatever.
How long have you been in New York?
About 4 hours.
What do you think of this circus?
Well, I haven't seen all the protests yet, but I've never seen as much security for a convention as we have here. And it's, the city's almost closed down. I think it's remarkable. I think it's an unfortunate turn for politics that we have to have this many police around.
There's been a lot of news articles and reports saying that there's a heightened risk of terror attacks. Do you think that's? Do you think there's a chance of that? Or comments?
I think. Well, listen, they just arrested. I think they're broken up some plot allegedly to somebody wanted to blow up subways. Yeah, I think it's a very real danger. And you've got Madison Square Garden is sitting right, basically on top of a train station, and Boston Convention was right on top of a train station. You just have to remember that trains are very accessible, vulnerable, and that's what happened in Spain. They went after trains and they blew some trains up, and it wasn't very expensive. So I think there's that danger, but I think the police are on top of it. They're treating this as a special security event, which means there's not only the obvious police around, but believe me, there's a lot of private stuff going on here.
Okay, one last question. I read a Washington Times article many years ago where you had a comment about the organization, and then now it's been in the Wall Street Journal, it's been in a lot of different newspapers, and that's the Bohemian Grove. And back in, 1996, when you joined as a Clinton advisor, the Republicans were criticizing you. Oh, what about Bohemian Grove? And then you countered them by saying, "Hey, I don't run around in the woods naked." What did that mean? Here is the before-mentioned Washington Times article where he said, "I didn't run around naked like they do."
I don't know what quote you're referring to. I'm not aware of any quote like that. Listen, I am a happy member of the Bohemian Grove. I like the folks who come there, and it's really inappropriate for me to talk about the group beyond that. Thank you.
Have you been there for the ceremony with the cremation of care?
Frankly, I don't think that's something I need to talk to you about.
Great owl of Bohemia, we thank thee for thy adjuration.
Opal Gypsy, I've only lived in Melbourne for like eight years. And yeah, so but no, I don't remember that. Also 80s or 90s. I'm a little bit younger than you, I guess. I lived in New South Wales, and anyway, no, I don't. I'll have to look into it. So yes, Pierre, very much yes. It gets even better. Simi, nothing wrong with it at all, unless you're doing it for ritual child sacrifice, and then probably stay well away from said grove. I mean, just saying.
Have you been there for the ceremony with the cremation of care?
Frankly, I don't think that's something I need to talk to you about.
Really?
That's right.
Well, I'm Alex Jones, and I snuck in there in 2000. I'm the guy that blew it wide open and got the video. It's been on national TV.
Well, I disrespect you for that.
You do?
I do.
But there's a lot of big public officials going in there. Don't we deserve to know?
I don't know anything about you, and I don't know anything about your film. But if you go in there with an understanding, you violated that understanding by releasing that film, and I don't respect you for that.
Really? But we have public officials.
I'm sorry. You took an understanding when you went in there that you would not do that film. And did you have an understanding when you went in there?
No.
Did you crash it?
Yes.
Yeah, and it has no trespassing signs there too, doesn't it?
No, they put them up after.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, sir. I've been there before. I know what the circumstances are, and I'm sorry you violated the understandings. That was not a gentlemanly thing to do.
But what about the ritual? Is the ritual genuinely?
Sir, everything. I don't owe you this comment.
I know.
This is what's called ambush journalism, and I disrespect you for that as well. So thank you and goodbye.
Been in the ritual?
It's none of your damn business.
Oh,
that's right. Listen. You go around and make understandings with people and violate them. You ambush people on the streets, and that's inappropriate form of journalism. If you wish to practice that, that's fine, but don't ask others to respect you for it. If you want to, you can do. You're a free American, like anything you want. If you want to be uncivil and rude and ungentlemanly, that's up to you.
And if I want to and if I want to pretend to sacrifice children, that's on me, sir. You how dare you be ungentlemanly with your ambush journalism? Me, I am virtuous to a fault, because all I do is pretend to sacrifice children. Just saying.
Mr. Gergen?
I'm sorry, nobody sets policy in there. We try to be gentlemen, and obviously you don't belong there.
Weaving spiders coming out here? Yeah, that is a three-pointer. Woo! Boy, I hit the hot button. Mr. Gergen, have a wonderful life. Say hi to Moloch for me, Canaanite deity, and I'll see you at Eyes Wide Shut, baby. Bye-bye. Get his face, get his face, get his face. Get his face. Get in there and get his face.
That's pretty cool. Good work, Alex Jones. Whatever did happen. All of this kind of conduct. Wait.
David Gergen
Pause.
says that
All this conduct got him in a whole lot of hot water, which got him in a whole lot of legal hot water. And now he's like a frog in a boiling pot of water, betrothed to the people that run the world. KKK.
Angry?
The real wild card here are the demonstrators. We just don't know where this is going to go. While they were peaceful today, there's a lot more anger among those demonstrators than is evident. You talk to them today, they're pretty angry people. So that's a big wild card.
Thank you and goodbye. The ritual? It's none of your damn business. It's none of your damn business. Oh, right. Listen. Just look at him. That's a face keeping a lot of secrets. He's got some stories to tell. And remember that Washington Times article? It talked about all the other organizations that he resigned from. It mentions the Trilateral Commission, the Council on Foreign Relations, all of them groups dedicated to setting up a world government and destroying American sovereignty.
As soon as Congress acts on this bill, the men our intelligence agencies believed helped orchestrate the 9/11 attacks can face justice. The bill would also provide clear rules for our personnel involved in detaining and questioning captured terrorists. The information that the Central Intelligence Agency has obtained by questioning men like Khalek Sheikh Mohammed.
Pause. Sorry, I wasn't looking at the screen, and I'm going to put a trigger warning on there. This doesn't last for very long, but just stressing. If you need to look away for a couple of minutes, I will say when this is over. But this is the reality of occupation and invasion and fighting wars. It's not war, it's genocide.
Has provided valuable information and has helped disrupt terrorist plots, including strikes within the United States. For example, Khalek Sheikh Mohammed described the design of planned attacks on buildings inside the U.S. and how operatives were directed to carry them out. That is valuable information for those of us who have the responsibility to protect the American people. He told us the operatives have been instructed to ensure that the explosives went off at a point that was high enough to prevent people trapped above from escaping. That the explosives went off at a point that was high enough to prevent people trapped above from escaping.
So that's 9/11.
He gave us information that helped uncover Al Qaeda cells' efforts to obtain biological weapons.
That was not American Airlines. The entire top of the building just blew up.
A second explosion and another explosion. We have a report now of a fourth explosion at the Trade Center. There has just been a huge explosion. It almost looks like one of those implosions of buildings that you see.
We heard a very loud blast, an explosion. Not clear now is why this explosion took place.
Do you know if it was an explosion or if it was a building collapse?
To me, it sounded like an explosion.
But it was a huge explosion.
I saw the two buildings. I'm thinking it was a bomb because two of them.
This is actually, we believe, debris from one of the planes that hit one of the towers on the World Trade Center. The FBI is here, as you can see. They had roped this area off. They were taking photographs and securing this area.
Opal Gypsy, who says a war is war, and the fact that there are always so many innocent civilians killed is horrific. The thing is, though, that the warmongering that's occurred against the Middle East by the West, which has been orchestrated, coordinated, manufactured by a certain secular state in the Middle East, that isn't war, because war technically is two opposing parties clashing, right? Violently clashing. So I guess World War II, although we won't go down that rabbit hole right now. But Germany was defending itself, / the Allies were trying to take down Germany. That's a more traditional war. The Gulf War, the Iraq War, Afghan War, the war that's about, like, literally about to happen, Venezuela, Iran, Somalia, Nigeria. That's not war. That's manipulation of outcomes for the benefit of a certain group of people and a particular secular state that's had this plan in action for over 100 years. Again, I'll type in the chat, clergy plan. I've used the word war before. There's not really a word that properly represents what this is. I think warmongering would be a better term, because war is more fair, if that makes sense. Bombing countries because somebody said they've got weapons of mass destruction, or terrorists, or nuclear weapons. Said who? Well, said the lying McLiars.
Just prior to that huge explosion that we all heard and felt.
We were the first ones in the second tower after the plane struck. I was taking firefighters up in the elevator to the 24th floor to get in position to evacuate workers. On the last trip up, a bomb went off.
Yeah, man.
We think there was bombs set in the building. Well, there is one very interesting piece of footage that was broadcast on CNN live while they were interviewing Tom Clancy. And the amazing thing is, this footage was shown once and never seen again. Let's take a look. If you follow the left tower all the way down to the street level, you'll notice that you can see all the way down to the buildings below. Now the question is, if both towers are still standing and the smoke is being blown away from the towers, what is this huge plume of smoke approximately 50 to 60 stories high rising from the Trade Center area? This footage was shown once live and never repeated, as I've already said. Why were we never shown this footage again, and why has this event never been brought to the attention of the American public or the world? This is a critical event. It was never discussed or examined because it is inconsistent with a simple attack of planes slamming into towers. How could this plume of smoke be rising from the base of the towers if neither one of the towers had collapsed? Let's listen to a clip from Larry Silverstein. He was the lease owner of the World Trade Center as he gave an interview on PBS.
I remember getting a call from the fire department commander telling me that they were not sure they were going to be able to contain the fire. And I said, you know, we've had such terrible loss of life. Maybe the smartest thing to do is pull it. And they made that decision to pull, and then we watched the building collapse.
About an hour ago, World Trade Center building number 7 collapsed. A 42-story building weakened by the devastation that had occurred earlier today.
You were both in Skull and Bones, the secret society.
It's so secret we can't talk about it.
What does that mean for America? The conspiracy theorists are going to go wild.
I'm sure they are. I don't know. I haven't seen the rest.
Number 322?
The only day Larry Silverstein ever took off work was 9/11. How about that? How about that?
Well, he's not the nominee. And, look, I look forward...
Are you prepared to lose?
No, I'm not going to lose.
You both were members of Skull and Bones, a secret society at Yale. What does that tell us?
Not much, because it's a secret.
Is there a secret handshake? Is there a secret code?
I wish there were something secret I could manifest.
322, a secret number?
There are all kinds of secrets, Tim, but one thing is not a secret. I disagree with this president's direction that he's taking the country. We can do a better job, and I intend to do it.
By the turn of the century, there was already a 10 to 15-year waiting list. Presidents from Howard Taft to Herbert Hoover were on the membership roster. Not to mention, later, famous war general Dwight D. Eisenhower.
Oh, he's got a 5 head.
The
Goodness.
roster of the Bohemian Club reads like a who's who of the elite. Look at this photo taken inside the Grove back in 1963. There you'll see Ronald Reagan, and sitting two people over from him, later to become president, Richard Milhouse Nixon. Frankly, we don't know if these men actively enjoy the things that go on inside the Bohemian Club. But one thing is perfectly certain from the evidence. They are forced to go and attend and take part in these activities if they wish to be elevated to the highest levels of the geopolitical power structure. Take George Bush Sr., documented member. And then, of course, there's his son. Now, the last 4 generations of Bushes have also attended the Skull and Bones Society at Yale, well known to be steeped in the occult. Then there's Bill Clinton, a frequent attendee. Upon closer inspection, the entire federal government at the highest levels is infested with Bohemian Club members. And it doesn't stop there. America's private run-for-profit Federal Reserve Bank, from its very inception in 1913, has been run by prominent members of the Bohemian Club. Central Bank Chairman Alan Greenspan was seen leaving the Bohemian Grove only 1 month before he was appointed chairman of the Federal Reserve. He had to be a made man to be a member of the most powerful cabal on the planet. Historical records are clear from major universities. The Manhattan Project was planned and instituted and run from the Bohemian Club. Now we're going to get to some enhanced video, and we'll go play-by-play through some of the more occultic statements, like we shall read the sign in your burned effigy, the bound body. That's exactly what the Druids actually did. They would roast cats, goats, oxen, horses, and watch the pain of how they died, and from this extract some type of mystical energy force or power, and also be able to tell the future.
All of Bohemia, we beseech thee, grant us thy counsel.
Upon further research of the ritual, it becomes clear. It is a mixture of the Babylonian Canaanite cult of Moloch fused with ancient Druidic rites, where you have the female side of Satan, which they first call out to in the she, and then towards the horn god with the he, mixed with Masonic rites from Scotland. It's very likely that many of the 1,500 to 2,000 member crowd had really no idea what they were actually watching because it was thinly veiled. We'll get back to more enhanced video of the ritual here in just a minute, but remember PJ, the little demon down in the corner, the left-hand corner of the program, sweeping up the ashes with little horns? Now, even more shocking is the figure of a human body burning in the flames. In fact, I've shown it to people that are experts in anatomy.
Pause. It's a shame that it's shitty year 2000 vision, because it's kind of hard to discern. But, I mean, at our own peril, let's take Alex Jones's word for it.
Actual doctors, and they say that the anatomical size is that of a baby or small child. Notice how large the cranium is in comparison to the torso, that is the ribs. Understand, ladies and gentlemen, this is from the program itself given out to the establishment lackeys witnessing these sinister activities. Remember, in Babylon and Tyre, they would throw their children into fiery pits. Look at the size of the hands compared to the rest of the body. Only children show these anatomical details. Now, of course, it's been airbrushed in, but it shows the psychology of those conducting these criminal activities. After the sacrifice, members of the cult would sweep up the ashes of the victim and use them in future rituals. One of the things that is extremely obvious by looking at the program handed out to Bohemian Club members is the person creating the program had a deep understanding of the occult.
I'm malevolence which would pursue us here.
Pause. And all the fucking sickos. The audience is packed, right? there's been a bit of footage that pans across the audience. Like there has to be at least 200 people there, which for out in the, out in the Grove with the Froggos going, that's a lot of sickos wanting to be a part of a reenactment of satanic rituals and child sacrifice. I mean, is that just me?
Has lost its power under these friendly trees. So shall we burn thee once again this night, and in the flames that eat thine effigy, we shall read the sign, Midsummer sets us free. You shall burn me once again.
Not with these flames, which hither ye have brought from regions where I reign. Ye fools and priests, I spit upon your fire.
And these are all, like the people who attend Bohemian Grove are all upper echelon, powerful people, politicians, moguls, media moguls, Hollywood, top end people, supposedly God-fearing, like Christian people, particularly 20 years ago. Maybe now you'd be less, I mean, I'm sure there's a lot more crypto Jews. That means Jewish people pretending to be other religions for the sake of shape-shifting and getting into places that maybe they wouldn't if they were being their true, authentic self. Oh, hi, Solace. Good to see you. Welcome. Happy Saturday, I think. Sage. Denounce the Satan. Denounce the devil. We are light. We are good. We are truth. We are fair and honest. We are not the darkness. It's almost over.
Great owl of Bohemia, we thank thee for thy adjuration.
It's a secret. Get out of there, Jonesy. Fuck. Look at all those people. What the fuck? What are we doing here, society? Demons. Sage.
Once more, we banish thee. Begone, dull care. Fire shall have its will of thee. Begone, dull care. And all the winds make merry with thy dust. Hail, fellowship's eternal flame. Once again, midsummer sets us free.
I'm going to mute it because I hate it. I'm going to speed it up because I hate it. You get the idea, huh? These motherfuckers. Ah! They clapped. They loved it. Ah! Pause. Ah!
A television host based in Austin, Texas. And for many
Woo.
years, I've been exposing the criminal
Sage.
activities of the global elite, also known as the New World Order. In past films, we've documented the centralization of power, the move towards world government, the attack on the nation state, self-defense, the Second Amendment, family values, that is, the family itself, as well as private property rights. But time and time again in my research, I come, well, eye to eye with something that's even hard for me to believe.
Took all his bloody
and that's
hair.
That the elite, again, the so-called establishment kings, those that know best, the visions of the anointed ones, are obsessed with the occult, from presidents to governors to the heads of industry. We've all seen the stories of presidents and first ladies obsessed with their astrologers, making national policy decisions upon their recommendations. Spiritual guides, shamans in the White House. My friends, it gets far worse than that. Now, I personally am a Christian, but even an atheist should be concerned about the information we're about to bring forward in this new documentary film, The Dark Secrets Inside Bohemian Grove. You see,
Oh, Pammy, I'm so sorry. I thought I'd get to stick around. Lost a niece 3 days ago to a car wreck. I wasn't that close to her, but it's my brother's stepdaughter off to an impromptu gathering. Sorry, not sorry with this weird shit. Yeah, no, it is weird shit. It's almost over, but family is always more important. So big hugs, Pammy. Big hugs to you.
for over 120 plus years in Northern California, in Sonoma County, on a 2,700-acre secluded redwood grove, leaders from around the world, prime ministers, chancellors, presidents, governors, again, the heads of industry, banking, academia, the media, Hollywood, only a select few, a little over 2,000 people.
So for context, my friend who's who I believe, again, I still haven't clarified. I believe it's his documentary. He is Muslim. He practices Islam. So that's why on the screen at the bottom there are quotes from the Quran rather than perhaps the Bible. So that's the context.
Travel there to engage in bizarre, ancient Canaanite, Luciferian, Babylon mystery religion ceremonies. At least that was the rumors. And so I went to the library and got on the internet and saw many of the mainstream news articles admitting that world leaders do indeed go there, and they fly into San Francisco and other surrounding cities and drive out into the rural hills and mountains of Northern California, and that these stories have been coming out that they worship some 45-foot stone owl god. And then I began to read some of the documentation on this Moloch character of the Old Testament, mentioned many times in Leviticus. That's in the Bible. Why are world leaders traveling to the middle of nowhere to worship this thing? To have world leaders engaging in this type of sickening behavior. Oh yes, there's much more to come. Mock human sacrifices, they claim, just shocks the very foundations of what Americans believe their leaders to be. And then to have it intimately connected with world government. It doesn't make a lot of sense until you research history. All throughout history, spanning back into the midst of the beginnings of civilization, we see world leaders from the empires of old, from the Aztec kings and priests to Babylonian leaders, to ancient Rome, engaging in twisted behavior. Could it be that when you have all the power and all the women and all the money and all the lands and all the art, you have to do something new? You have to go against the basic grain of humanity. You have to get off in a sick way.
Israel was using white phosphorus against the laws of war. It's legal in open areas as screen for troops, but illegal under the Geneva Convention for use against civilians. Human Rights Watch concluded that the Israeli military fired white phosphorus repeatedly
Trigger
over densely
warning.
populated areas,
It doesn't last
even
long.
when its troops weren't in the area and safer smoke shells were available. As a result, civilians needlessly suffered and died.
Notice though, notice though that this isn't in the last couple of years, right? This isn't since October 7. This is 20 years ago. So I'll scoot past that bit. Hang on.
Is a chemical weapon. For those of you who don't know, when it meets oxygen, and here's the funny thing about Earth, it's surrounded by oxygen, it produces a white smoke that then falls down on whoever's underneath it, that burns your skin. But it doesn't just stop at the skin. It keeps going on a lot of occasions until it hits bone. It causes second-degree and third-degree burns for sure. It is outlawed by the Geneva Conventions. But the clever folks in Israel and the United States, because we use it in Iraq, and Israel used it earlier in Lebanon, have come up with an exception. Oh, don't worry, we're not using it as a weapon. If we did, of course, that would be a war crime. Instead, we're using it as a smokescreen or illumination. Oh, you didn't have any other ways to light up the sky, and so you chose to use a poison gas instead. Yeah, I would go for a different way of going about that objective. That was the excuse we mainly used in Iraq. The Israelis are saying, no, it's just a smoke screen so our soldiers can come in. Well, your soldiers wouldn't want to come in because then their skin would be burned off.
Using gas, can you believe it? Using gas, white phosphorus gas. I've seen it in action. In 1982, when Israel invaded and occupied Lebanon, besieged Beirut, began to reduce it to rubble and ash, I visited the hospitals where the children were breathing white smoke from the white phosphorus that was burning within them. That's what it does. When you ingest it, you can't get rid of it. It cooks you, it bakes.
Pause, changing that. Yeah, it's like it's graphic and it's horrible, and it's distressing, but it's happening. So this was, what, 20 years ago, what the footage we're watching at the moment. And worse happens now. So apathy is not the answer. Crimes against humanity. Apathy is not the answer, but also only as much as you can handle. I'm going to scoot past that. And that for y'all. And
And I mean, some of us are not very good at statistics, but it's worth thinking about a few things that are very, very revealing indeed about this, the cynicism, the brutality, and the callousness of the Israelis. I mean, one thing that was shocking was that the day after the Israelis deployed from Gaza, redeployed to the borders from where they maintained the siege, they started immediately, the last settler left, to have sonic booms throughout the night.
again, this is like 20 years ago, 15 years ago.
Including the children. And it was very, very
Not
traumatic.
2 years ago, 1 year ago.
In addition to bodily harm to the ears, they shatter windows and literally just completely blow off doors from their hinges. And they're eerie because they happen usually in the middle of the night and it's still, and you don't hear what's happening. And all of a sudden, because it's faster, it's supersonic, so it's faster than the speed of sound. You just hear this immense sound, and it's as if a blanket of air literally just knocks you down, and then you hear the plane flying. And you know, after intense pressure was causing severe trauma and miscarriages, and it went to the Israeli High Court, and they said we can't rule on this because it's a security matter, which is the usual response. But you know, it eventually ceased, I think, under that pressure.
So what was unthinkable for Jewish children when there were still some in Gaza, Palestinian children, and it was
This
really
is not in
a
the
case
last
of a
2
few
years,
hours after
okay?
there were only Palestinian children in Gaza that this torture was implemented.
He replied that although my house was located in the West Bank, the steps were in Israeli territory. Therefore, the policeman said, every time that I entered my house, I needed a permit from the Israeli police.
So every time you come up your own front steps, you are officially breaking the law.
Yes. So every time we go in or out of the
Terrorizing
house, we are
apartheid
officially
state.
breaking the law as
20
far as
years,
the police
30
are
years,
concerned. And when we
50
use
years.
those steps to try and visit that house over there, we are officially breaking the law.
But just I want to confirm. First, the Israelis gave you permission to build this house. No.
Yes. They gave me permission for that.
Secondly, having given you permission, you can't have permission now to go into your own house through your own front steps without breaking the law.
Yes, for sure.
It's a mad world.
Hey Clay, good to see you. We're about halfway. Halfway
now
through
has
this.
a permit to enter his
Almost.
house, but it only lasts for 3 months and can be taken away at any time.
So this is
One of the
exactly
most
what they're still
brutal
doing now,
aspects of
right?
Israeli policy in Palestinian East Jerusalem is
I'm just going to say, so all those fucking propagandist Hezbollah full of shit, bullshit demons who say October 7th, get the fuck out of here. How quickly people choose to forget or never, like mainstream media doesn't show this stuff. No, people don't want to watch this because it disrupts our peace. Well, fuck, man. Look at this peace. What peace? The people of Palestine, the rightful owners of Palestine, have had no peace since 1948 when they very kindly, but under duress, opened their doors to a slew of Jewish immigrants from Eastern Europe, right? After World War II. The Kalergi Plan. No, that wasn't the Kalergi Plan. That's the Balfour, what's it called? Someone can brain. Anyway, it was Balfour report, I think, signed in secret and in coded language, promising the Jewish people Palestine. And they opened their houses and their arms and their hearts and their foods to these refugees, these Jewish refugees fleeing Europe. And within, I want to say it was less than 12 months, Palestinians were coming home and they were being locked out of their homes with the doors, locks changed. Balfour Declaration. Thank you so much. It's a lot. And it's been going ever since. Like I know it's the other side of the world. Yes, Balfour Declaration. Thank you. My brain got there, but you all clarified and confirmed. Thank you so much. So don't let any hubris filled, misinformed, indoctrinated propagandist tell you anything about October 7th. Do not, push back. I spend all my days and all my nights pushing back against that shit. And if you go into threads on Twitter, if you go into threads on Twitter these days, I'll go in about to put, and I still drop comments, but I'll go in there ready to all guns blazing. And it's a beautiful thing to see. The world is waking up. But if people, so many, Twitter only has what, I don't know what the numbers are. I think it's 4.8 million users. Maybe it's more than that. Maybe it's, I don't know, statistics. There's so many more people on the planet who believe what mainstream media tells us, who blindly believe and put their influences and their legacy media idols on a pedestal, and refuse to believe that that any people in position of power could be so barbaric, but they are. Yeah, it was a stand down order, but people don't want to hear that. Come on now. Israel is the most hello Palantir. Israel is the techno state. They're behind all of it, right? As if they didn't know about, as if they didn't know about, let alone be able to see Hamas parachuting in parachutes. Please, all of the cars on October 7th were absolutely decimated by weaponry that Hamas didn't have. But you know who did have? So like, it's just outrageous when anybody says October 7th. I want to scream and I want to cry, because here we are watching stuff from 20 years ago. October 7th, my fucking ass. It's disgusting. It keeps me awake at night. I'm so mad.
House demolition. Israeli planning laws now make it almost impossible for
Shout out
Palestinians
Poke,
to obtain
Mr. Poke.
building
Shout out
permit.
Mr. Poke.
So,
love you.
in order to accommodate their growing families, many are forced to build illegally. 5 years ago, Abu Jamal wanted to build a house for his family on land which he owned. He was refused a permit, but he built it anyway.
Jamal, how many people in your family?
Five people.
Five. And you're not allowed to live in your own house.
It's ritual sacrifice,
We've been
man.
told to close the house by the end of this month.
Blood libel.
And Israel governs this one state very skillfully with three.
Pause, dare I say, Zionism, let's just say Zionism, but, 90% anyway. Zionism requires the blood, sacrifice, and pain of children to increase, like, Zionism and anti-Semitism are self-fulfilling prophecy. They need it. They need us to hate them. I don't hate anybody, but that's the goal. They need us to hate them so that they can justify. It's just one big fucking loop of supremacy. Jared Kushner's already singing all the way to the bank. Oh, Pikachu. See, I knew this content was going to push away a lot of folks and suppress the living daylights out of my channel. I don't care. I don't care. I will ride this into the ground until the wheels fall off. And that's why the Bohemia Grove weird shit is relevant, because it's all tied in. What God in the Bible, Revelations 3:19 and 2:19, I believe, reference the synagogue of Satan. They are evil. This is such treacherous territory, because I'm not going to say not all Jews, but also not all Jews, because but the ideology, the all-encompassing, overarching ideology of the Talmud and the Torah, and they've been playing a long game. Like I said at the start. Wait, walk and talk chat. I said at the start of the stream, but we had like 8 minutes of me not having any internet, because that's weird. That's suspicious. Suddenly my hotspot connection was unable to be rectified. I have plenty of data. It's never happened before. It's interesting, the timing after when here I am with my Palestine flag and my red and green strawberry earrings and white, but there's big things happening in the universe at the moment. We're about to come into the year of the fire horse. So tomorrow night, we'll be doing a bit more of an uplifting stream, because there are positives if we can harness this awakening. If you, I'm excited about tomorrow night. I'm excited about tonight too. But I'm not just ad hoc being controversial for the sake of being controversial. It's probably in my death knell, and I've built this channel for 2 years to the day, a couple of days over 2 years, I've been building this channel, and it's been a vision of mine for a lot longer than that. It used to be I used to want to do a podcast, a traditional audio podcast. So I'm going into this with full understanding that this is streamer suicide, metaphorical suicide. And here we are. Like, we ain't got no quit, shorties. And that's what we're doing. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk.
Different sets of laws. You have the laws that govern people like myself, Israeli Jews, who can come and go and say what they please. Pretty much a democratic state for all purposes. You've got the laws that govern the Palestinians who are citizens of Israel, and there are over 30 laws in the law books that discriminate against them specifically, and you've got an entire culture of discrimination against them that is deep-seated and deep-rooted in Israeli society. And then you've got the laws that govern the Palestinians in the West Bank and Gaza, and this is really at the pleasure of the Israeli army.
Love you guys.
If they want to destroy, they destroy. If they want to arrest and beat, they arrest and beat. If they want to torture, they torture. If they want to kill, they kill. And Palestinians have no recourse. This is the reality. There's an education system, the Zionist education system. Like Judith alluded, my sister just wrote a book about it. She's an educator that teaches racism in a very subtle way. There's a bureaucracy, an entire bureaucracy, that is dedicated to making life impossible for Palestinians through all kinds of restrictions and permits and requirements that are absolutely uncalled for and unnecessary, but are all given and provided under the guise of security. And then you've got the Israeli army, which I like to refer to as one of the best trained, best equipped, best fed terrorist organizations in the world. And yes, they have generals and they have nice uniforms, but their entire purpose is terrorism.
Jerusalem City Council has ordered Jamal to prepare the house for demolition. He now lives in a tent in the garden.
Again, this is decades ago, at most a decade ago.
The two boys over there, and we sleep here, and my daughter over there.
Jamal, how do you feel about this? What is your wife?
We are all frustrated. We have paid a lot of money to the council, to the architect and the lawyers.
Gypsy, I think they should be, shouldn't they? One of the problems is that the same set of people, like those top-end people, are the ones who write the history books, and the victors write the history books, right? So a lot of the stuff that that we've been everything we've been led to believe about the way things happened, or the things that did happen, or the degree to which they happened, or the perpetrators of said events in history across the board are skewed certain ways. And once you start looking into who owns all of media, who owns all of Hollywood, who owns all of technology, who owns all of the politicians, who owns all of everything, you'll understand that that we've been played for fools. We, the global community, and anybody, and the phrases like anti-Semites, Nazi, Holocaust denier, conspiracy theorist, racist, white privilege, male privilege, all of that's been been also perpetrated and inserted into our psyche by the same people who shut down any sort of dissent or questions with those, like they're a hard stop, right? And you know, we've seen like Mel Gibson, you're either slurred feminism, yep, slurred feminine. There's so many things. You're either slurred or murdered, depending on your your status and the danger you present to said group of people. And if you're lucky, like Kanye West or I'm trying to think of a few other people. Kanye West. My brain chat remind me of a few others. You'll do the humiliation ritual and you'll be allowed back in. People who refuse to do the humiliation ritual and to say, I was wrong, often pay with their life and their reputation. Michael Jackson, Charlie Kirk. This is all heavy shit, man. But the more we notice, the more we acknowledge, the more we take away the power of those labels by not letting them affect us and not being scared. We are strong, we are powerful, we are light. We've got this.
It's all been a complete waste.
What?
Yes, 100%.
No,
It was a
no,
smear
I
campaign, Simi,
understand
and he was
all the
killed.
intricacies of
Rabbi
the situation.
Shmuley was his. Don't even start me on
But
any of it. I
is,
can't. I'm
in
dying
its
over
effect,
here.
as you see here, inhuman. It is stupid. It is generating in the hearts of these people an implacable hate. And I wonder and I worry where that will end. There is only one word for a policy like this, and it is racism masquerading as bureaucracy. The intention is very simple. It is to ensure that the Palestinian community, who have lived in Jerusalem for centuries, maybe even for millennia, are now driven from their land by a bureaucracy that is discriminatory and inhumane.
It's an apartheid state. It's a genocide. It's ethnic cleansing, and it's
On the 5th of
disgusting.
June 1967, the Middle East was plunged into war. In just 6 days, the Israeli army destroyed the combined forces of Egypt, Syria, and Jordan, and conquered the Gaza Strip, the Sinai.
Are you saying no? What the fuck to Rabbi Shmuley? Was it Rabbi? No, Rabbi Shmuley. Maybe I'm getting that wrong. That could be Kanye. God, so many facts in my poor little exploding brain. Oh no.